So this is a quick mobility session that you can do pretty much anytime. I really love to do it first thing in the morning. I'll do it sometimes in the afternoon if I've been sitting for a long time. Sometimes I'll do it in the evening if my body's feeling stiff. A lot of times I'll do this just before I work out, especially if I'm going to do a high intensity full body workout. But the idea behind these mobility movements is to warm up every major muscle and every major joint throughout your body. It's pretty simple, but so try to follow along. If you need to stop the video, I'll try to be mindful about stopping in between each exercise for just a moment, or slow the video down, which you should be able to do in your video player or YouTube. So it basically starts like this. So you're going to interlace your hands behind your back like so. You're going to roll your shoulders up towards your ears, back and down. So we're going to do this about 10 times. The idea here is that you're squeezing the muscles between the shoulder blades and you're stretching the chest muscles. And now we're going to do the opposite, forward. Again, about 10 times. And then now come up, back, down. Press your palms into your sacrum, engage your abdomen, and then now start to work the neck, looking up, looking down. The reason that we squeeze the muscles in the shoulder blades is to isolate the cervical spine so we can get maximum mobility here, and then side to side, trying to touch your ear to your shoulder. Now, the important thing to point out with all these exercises is that we're not taking anything to the far end range of motion. We're staying basically within the comfort zone. And then looking over each shoulder. Shoulders are still moving back behind. And then relaxing the arms down. Big rotations, side to side. It's okay to experience some popping. It's okay to experience a little bit of soreness, but you shouldn't have a lot of discomfort. Especially shouldn't have any numbness or tingling that goes into the arms when you do these exercises. Okay. Now we're gonna warm up the shoulder girdle. We're gonna do this by externally rotating and internally rotating the arm and the shoulder. So and at the same time, we're gonna move the ribs laterally. So what this looks like is like this. So this arm is going external as I move this direction. This arm is going internal as I move this direction. So back and forth, 1, 2. You can see how I'm rotating my shoulders forward, my shoulder blades forward as I'm moving side to side. I actually learned this move from a belly dancer, a friend of mine, a woman named Adelaide, and found that this is a great way to open up the chest, open up the shoulders, and immobilize the spine. There aren't a lot of times during the day that we do this lateral type movement in the spine, so it feels really good. And then now we're gonna bring the shoulder into external rotation while bringing the other shoulder into internal rotation. So I'll take a step back. So what that looks like is here and here. Now I'm rotating the spine a little bit, back and forth. And then now we're gonna bring our palms towards our belly button, lean forward, out, bring our fingers towards our eyebrows, here. So the idea is pretend like you're holding 2 plates on your palms. You're gonna try to keep it so that way those plates stay pretty much level with the ground. So now I'm opening up the shoulder girdle, the shoulder and thoracic spine, as well as getting some motion in the lower spine, knees and ankles. Now we're gonna go the opposite direction. Come towards the temples, out. Towards the temple, out. Towards the temple, out. Towards the temple. And then end here, stretching the palms Stretching the elbows and open the chest. Relax. Great. Now we're going to go again lateral spine bending. So I'm going to use my middle finger. I'm going to trace it down the seam or imaginary seam of my arm, of my leg, all the way down to below the knee, while I raise this one up, back and forth. So again, we're getting that lateral motion of the spine. We're opening up the oblique muscles, opening up the intercostal muscles of the ribs, making it easier to breathe, especially during high intensity aerobic training. And after about 5 or 6 of those, stopping here, hands on the waist. I'm sure you've done this in PE, basic calisthenic motion. The difference here is we're trying to get circles in the ankles, knees, hips, lower back, middle back. So try to get a big motion. I don't know if you can see this, but I'm bending my knees quite a bit, especially as as my lower body comes forward. Opposite direction. And after about 8 to 10 motions, stopping here in the center. And now this next movement is something that we practiced a lot in Tai Chi and Qigong and martial arts, but it's most recently become very popularized by Ido Portal, the movement specialist, and it's a spinal roll. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna pretend like we have a wall right in front of us. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna try to drag my nose up against the wall, then my chest, and then my belly, and back down. So you can do anywhere from 10 to 20 of these. So again, I've got an imaginary wall. And now what I'm doing is I'm mobilizing every spinal segment. In the beginning, it might take a little getting used to. It's okay to divide it up into first the neck, then the chest, then the belly, rounding the spine, nose, chest, belly, hips, nose, chest, belly, hips. And then after a while, you can bring in and mix all 4 of those segments together in order to get all the spine. And then the opposite direction, which is going to be starting with the waist, belly, chest, nose, belly. Here we go. Just like so. If you've got a lot of soreness or if it's early in the morning, you can do smaller motions. Try to kind of focus on isolations, sensitivity, becoming really comfortable with this motion. If you want to do bigger motions, because your body feels more warmed up, then you can. You can also bring the legs in, really point the knees over the toes in order to get more articulation throughout all the joints. Like so. And then after about 10 or 20 of these, now we're going to go into a more active spinal extension exercise where I'm going to spread the legs out. I'm going to grab the knees. I'm going to come down into this horse stance. I'm going to push the arms, and I'm going to actively tense the muscles in the lower back, middle back, upper back, neck, and now I'm going to do the opposite. 1, 2, 3. About 5 to 6 of these. So this is warming up the legs, knees, ankles, and the entire spine. And then now, come up. What we're gonna do is we're gonna trace down the outsides of our legs. We're gonna bounce 3 times at the bottom, very light bounces to stretch out the muscles from the back of the head all the way to the heels. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. When you come up actively. It's not just standing up, it's engaging the gluteal muscles, engaging the lower back, engaging the upper back to bring the body up. Because mobility isn't just about flexibility, it's not just about range of motion, it's about being able to engage a muscle at an end range of motion. So that's what we're doing here. So I'm end range of motion 3 times, and now I'm going to engage the glutes, lower back, middle back. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. You can do that as many times as you like. I usually do about 8 to 10 times. Now the next one feels a little bit more tricky, looks a little bit weird, looks a little Karate Kid, but doesn't really matter. It feels really good. So what we're going to do is we're going to work on the ankles, the wrists, the entire spine at the same time. And what that looks like is bringing the arms up like so, curling the wrists in, pressing out. So 1, 2, 3, bring it up, lean back. When you lean back, push the hips forward, but engage the abdomen. Lean, 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 open, round the spine, press. So what that looks like in real time is like this. Notice I'm bending the knees, press, up, open. So it looks very similar to one of the exercises that we did at the very beginning of this series. But now we're bringing in all the motions. The last one is ending here. So we're externally rotating the shoulder, really widening the palm, opening the chest, tensing the muscles on the back. If you want to, you can even come up onto your tiptoes and relax. And then bounce it out. You can do this bouncing for anywhere from 10 seconds to 2 or 3 minutes, whatever your body wants. Okay, I hope that was helpful.